to my channel. Today we are going to be reading 10 Pokedex entries that make no sense. The vast, incredible, wild world of Pokemon is a weird place a lot of the time, to say the least. On one hand, the world itself is a marvel, both nature and technology that lives side by side, but on the other hand, it is filled with the world of superpowered animals, each with their own unique abilities. Thankfully, there's information about them that explains that's explained in the device known as the Pokedex. The Pokedex has an entry for every single Pokemon that has or ever will exist and acts like an encyclopedia for trainers to learn about these creatures, but some entries in it are so out there and over the top or just too strange to make any sense. Number 10. If Sabo cries, everyone must cry. One of the 3 starter Pokemon of the Galar region, Sabo's most notable personality trait is that it's one big crybaby, being timid and easily bursting into tears, and as it turns out, this is also a defense mechanism for the little reptile too. The Pokedex states that when Sabo starts crying, everyone around it starts crying too, and claims that apparently the tears pack a chemical punch of 100 onions. One freshly cut onion has enough chemical irritates to the eye, creating a watering and burning sensation. Now imagine that chemical reaction times 100. Sabo's tears wouldn't just cause intense crying, but would likely create a burning pain in the eye like never before. Number 9. Spoink can never rest. At first glance, Spoink seems like a happy little creature as it bounces around on its tail, but it's actually the something of miserable existence. The Pokedex states that the bouncing that is what pumps Spoink's heart, so it must keep bouncing, otherwise its heart would stop. That means that Spoink's could never truly rest because doing so would likely kill it. Later, the Pokedex entry even goes on to confirm that Spoink even sleeping while bouncing and only stops once it's dead. Trainers must attempt to hug the little cute piggy, but doing so will end up putting its little life at risk. Jesus Christ. Number 8. Magikarp can leap mountains, but is still useless. Magikarp is notoriously known as the most useless Pokemon out there, only as it's pathetically flopping around. The 5th generation Pokemon revealed that despite this is contradicting previous Pokedex entries, that Magikarp has one talent: incredible jumping abilities. The Pokedex explains that Magikarp, living for many years, can leap mountains using Splash. Unfortunately, it also confirms that it still does nothing regardless. Considering the amount of force it would take for a Magikarp to leap over a mountain, it is confusing that it can't cause any damage. It means that either one of 2 things: either the Pokedex entries is lying about the ability, or other Pokemon are so impossibly strong that Magikarp at its best is still weak by comparison. Number 7. Poison to the brain plus Slowking equals genius? Slowpoke and Shelter have shared an interesting relationship over the years, and Shelter is the driving force that allows Slowpoke to evolve. If Slowpoke's tail is bitten by Shelter, it'll become a Slowbro, but if its head is bitten, it becomes a Slowking instead? It doesn't stop there though, because the Pokedex entry states that the toxin Shelter injects into Slowking's brains make it a genius. There are many questions that arise from this information, such as why would a Shelter's poison do that, and if that's really how it works, then why is Shelter's poison meant to do in a natural habitat? In most cases, poison seeping into the brain would most likely cause death, but apparently involving a Slowpoke, it gains highly intelligence instead. Number 6. Local Primate is literally too angry to live. Too angry to live. There's being angry, and then there's being angry like a Primate. Primate is known to be always enraged, and a result is it's set off really easily and attacks without little warning. In short, it's not the most friendliest Pokemon out there. Apparently, its anger is a double-edged sword, since the Pokedex reveals that Primate can become so angry that it dies. Everyone gets angry sometimes, but Primate's anger can become so red hot and intense that it literally kills it. What's even sadder is that its entry goes to state that its face will look peaceful in death. Primate's only true sense of calm is when it dies. It's so bad. Number 5. Laws of physics cannot stop Iggly Buff. Iggly Buff is an adorable Pokemon, the pre-evolution of Jigglypuff, and on top of its cute appearance, it's also known as incredibly soft and bouncy. In fact, the Pokedex entry reveals that it's actually too bouncy. Many Pokedex entries mention it, but in Diamond and Pearl's entry confirms that once it starts bouncing, it's impossible to stop. When something like a ball bounces, it eventually uses its kinetic energy and stops, but Iggly Buff can literally bounce forever and nothing can stop it. One can assume Iggly Buff lives a hard life as a result, and probably has to be careful not to trip, or it could be stuck bouncing all over the place. Number 4, I Was A Teenagekadabra. There's a fine line between humans and Pokemon, but every now and then the line kind of gets tangled. One of the strangest examples somehow ended up being with Kadabra. Thanks to this notorious Pokedex entry, it happened one morning a boy with extrasensory powers woke up in bed and transformed into a Kadabra. Normally Kadabra is a result of evolving an Abra, but the Pokedex implies that an unfortunate boy who just so happened to have psychic powers turned into one. There's no explanation to why as a boy transformed into a Pokemon all of a sudden either, which means this entry creates more questions than answers. Number 3, Tyranitars Rampage causing mass destruction. At the end of the day, Pokemon are wild animals who go berserk when they feel threatened or enraged, though Tyranitars' anger makes primates look tame by comparison. I'm gonna sneeze. Wait, sorry, my apologies. A lot of Tyranitars Pokedex entries talk about how strong it is, but Diamond and Pearl's entries really drive it home, telling when it rampages, it knocks down mountains and buries rivers. It goes on to say that destruction is so bad that the maps must be redrawn afterwards. While Tyranitar isn't the most common Pokemon out there, there aren't too few and far in between, so one of Tyranitar is capable of causing maps to be redrawn, then it's amazing that the Pokemon world hasn't collapsed yet from the force of entry of the entire Tyranitar population. Damn, I wonder how that is in comparison to Yveltal, because Yveltal is the Pokemon known for destruction, that when it walks, literally everything behind it just fucking dies. So, like, what the hell is, you know. Number 2, your Gardevoir, black holes, and you. Gardevoir can share a special connection with their trainers, and as such are fiercely loyal and will do anything to protect them, including bending the laws of space and time itself. There are multiple Pokedex entries that tell how Gardevoir can create small black holes in order to protect its trainer, but the world can do more damage than help if it's true. The gravitational pull of a black hole is inescapable regardless of its size. It would just pull about everything in, getting bigger and bigger in the process. If Gardevoir made a black hole, it probably would not only accidentally kill its trainer, but the rest of the world too. Number 1, Macargo's very existence would burn everything. The metrics for a Pokemon power output are just so over the top to measure, which is probably done to make them sound powerful, but in hindsight, if applied to the real world science, these creatures wouldn't just be impossible, they'd be world-ending. Macargo is a shining example of that, with a Pokedex entry from Pokemon Sapphire describing it as 18,000 degrees Fahrenheit in terms of temperature. This just about doubles the temperature of the sun's surface at the heat. That heat not only water evaporate, just as it says in the same entry, but literally everything around Macargo would be on fire before even sending out an attack. The world itself would burn to a crisp just from Macargo's existence. On that note, I hope you all enjoyed. Comment down below which your favorite one out of all these 10 are. Surprisingly, these are all so just insane, but if you want to comment, if you have any other comments about another Pokedex entry that makes no sense, comment down below. I love you guys, thank you for everything, and I will see you later. Bye bye.